Today, Oxford United travelled to Sheffield Wednesday in Sky Bet League 1, and I travelled the 142 miles to Hillsborough. What a beautiful ground here at Sheffield Wednesday, absolutely filled with footballing history and memory. It really is an absolute honour to see Oxford United take to one of the most significant footballing stages across the world.
I can feel the gravity.
As always, the travelling Oxford fans make some real noise, preparing their players for arguably their most challenging game yet. And then in the 12th minute, Brannagan smashes home to make it 1-0, and the away end absolutely erupts. Ox's Matty Taylor gets us underway for the second half, with the U still leading by a goal to nil, and pretty much straight from kick-off, Ox's number 9 has a huge chance to double the lead, but it can only be saved wonderfully by the Wednesday goalkeeper. The home fans finally have something to cheer for, as Paterson scores a powerful header into the roof of the net for an equalising goal, and then in the 93rd minute, James Henry has a chance. James Henry's 93rd minute strike sees the game finishing 2-1 here at Hillsborough, with Oxford claiming their first 3 points on the road. It's now time to break the game down tactically, give my thoughts on the game, and more.
But I won't rush this love. I can wait the edge of time. I will be standing here all through the night. I will be standing here till the stars align.
Wow, what a day that was. Oxford United win for the first time on the road in League 1 against Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1. We've been desperate to do a matchday experience, desperate to do an away game on the podcast, in which is a positive and it's a victory. If we just go to every game, eventually away from home, we will win, and we do. I didn't think it was going to be this one though. Sheffield Wednesday away had such a difficult game, a historical ground, such an amazing ground, and one of the most probably historical grounds in England for many different reasons, one in particular of course, but honestly, an amazing day, an amazing away trip, winning the game 2-1 against such a big club in Sheffield Wednesday, but with such an amazing performance. And today, hopefully you enjoyed that matchday experience, and it was certainly an interesting one, probably the best and most exciting one yet. Today it's time, and now it's time to break the performance down and also give my opinions on the game. I want to hear from you in the comments down below as well. You can do that. It's free to give both perspectives, a Sheffield Wednesday perspective and of course an Oxford perspective as well. I'm sure we'll probably have two sets of fans, two different sides of the story. I want to hear from you. It's free to give your comments. I'll be replying to all of them as per usual. Also, you can hit that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell as well, so you never miss an episode of the podcast. Anyway, enough of that stuff. Let's get straight into it. First of all, talking about how amazing the fans were, and also how the fans helped Oxford United, and probably helped both at the side, but ultimately Oxford more, because I thought the away fans, I thought as away fans as well, I'm going to be slightly biased, of course I am, because I was in the ground and that's what I heard most of. But generally, I just do think from an Oxford point of view, the fans really helped the players out today, especially in one point of the game. And I think Jerome Sale mentioned it on the Wasn't the Game show after. He said at 1-1, the game really could have gone either way. And the Oxford players could have thought one of two ways, I think. And that really could have been, we just hold out for 1-1 and hope, even though Sheffield Wednesday coming at us, that we just sit tight, or use the fans' energy, use the fans' atmosphere from that Oxford away end and just go forward and just try and attack. Understand that Sheffield Wednesday are going to attack, but can you hit them on the break and can you go for the win? And that risk paid off massively. And that doesn't just come down to the players, that also does come down to the amazing decisions from Carl Robinson. Don't just sit tight, go at them. Understand that they're going to come at you, they are going to attack, but can you combat that and then also hit them on the break? And that was something something that was really, really important, and not just a player decision, not just a player mindset, not just a fan mindset as well, but also a really, really good tactical decision from Carl Robinson. I think he definitely does deserve credit for that. I'm sure he will, because that wasn't the only thing he got right today. I thought the team selection, he was definitely hindered by different things. Of course, the COVID-19 outbreak, I think there's 2 players that have been affected by it in the squad quite recently. They kept it quite quiet, but it got outed today, and there had to be some changes, some forced changes after a very, very good Tuesday victory against Accrington Stanley, and things had to be changed, and ideally Carlson probably would have gone with the same lineup after that amazing victory, but changes were forced to be made, and Carlson had to make these big decisions, but ultimately I think they paid off. You know, you saw Sam Long come back into the lineup, and Anthony Ford, who, to be honest with you, probably would have missed out if it wasn't for the COVID outbreak, because Sam Long was going to come in at right back, but Anthony Ford stayed on the side, but this time at right wing, I thought he did a really, really good job there as well, showing his amazing utility work, showing his fantastic versatility in the position. We know Anthony Ford can do that. We know he's a fantastic player, and he can do a great job in all different positions. That's why we love him. That's why he's such an important part of this, not Oxford United team, but also the Oxford United squad as well. And Carlson spoke about that as well, how much of good squad depth it is. And when things happen, and when things off the pitch that can't be helped happen, it's the squad depth that gets you through these sort of games. And ultimately, like we said at the start of the episode, we were hoping for a match day experience, and I hope for an episode of the podcast away from home that's going to be positive. We didn't think it was going to be at Hillsborough. We didn't think it was going to be away at Sheffield Wednesday, but it was, and that comes from the amazing squad depth that Oxford United now have. Maybe not to the level of some teams in the league, but certainly compared to what we've had in previous years, this is an amazing set of players, but also a big, larger squad as well, where, you know, things can happen with wingers not being able to play. Billy Bowden, we released one of the players, and I think it is confirmed that he's one of the players with the with COVID-19. But Anthony Ford can come in, and I think he'd be very, very unlucky to have been dropped after that Tuesday game, but he stayed in the lineup and he did very, very well today, so fair play to Anthony Ford, just to mention a few. But also, like I said as well, going back to the fans pretty briefly, at 1-1 it could have gone either way, and I thought we were fantastic at doing that. What we did, at different points in the game, was just get behind the players and go for it, and that was so important from an Oxford perspective, and fair play to the fans as well, because it really could have gone either of two ways. I know against Cheltenham the performance wasn't very good. It started off lively, the performance sort of definitely slowed down and got much worse, and the whole atmosphere sort of fell down as well. Whereas today, because the players were very, very good, and I'd say extremely good from minute 1 to minute 93, minute 93 will be a moment that Oxford United fans will hear a lot in the next few days and probably weeks as well. That really helped everyone out, and that really just got the buzz, got the real atmosphere going, provided that energy not just from the fans, and then got it forward to the players as well, which certainly probably helped them through difficult spells. When Sheffield Wednesday were certainly going at Oxford United, they were able to sort of just, channel that energy right, channel that emotion right. We spoke about energy and emotion quite a lot on the podcast, especially Carl Robinson said it as well, and we sort of criticised it slightly with how we worded it, but I understand now really, when it works well, and when that emotion is channeled in the right way and focused in the right direction, it can have such a positive impact on players. And today, Oxford United, were a perfect example of that. Also, looking at it from a more tactical point of view as well, we didn't really know how much of the ball, I certainly didn't know how much of the ball Oxford United were going to have. We know we like to play a possession game of football against Sheffield Wednesday, who are a very, very good side. Maybe weren't as good as they maybe could have been today. We know, of course, are going to be up there probably at the end of the season. We know they have got some really, really goals so far, some good results so far this season. They're going to be up there. They're going to, it's definitely at home also, fancy themselves with the ball, and probably going to try and dominate the game and try and dictate things and make Oxford United then have to adapt to that. Whereas I thought really Oxford United had a lot of the ball from my perspective. I don't exactly know the full statistics on it, but what it felt like is we looked quite dominant. But, in spells I thought we looked really, really good and looked quite in control of the game, especially in that first half. I really thought Oxford United could really, really control the game, and in the end created the chances that, got them to go in the first, in that first half. Even in the second half, it came even more from Gretna Charles. The first half came from the first goal from Callum Brannagan came from Herbie Kane winning the ball so well. He was a fantastic player in that midfield today. He won that ball straight away, sent Cameron Brannagan through, and then a really, really good finish from Cameron Brannagan on that right hand side. And maybe the goalkeeper could have done better, but either way, it's a good strike. It's a difficult strike, and a really, really good goal. And that's the perfect start for Oxford United. In that first, and that came again from really, really good pressing from Herbie Kane, a great tackle, and then the end a really, really good finish. But what I mean? When you have the ball and you have that possession, you're able to create those chances, and that wouldn't have come if, Herbie Kane, even though we were out of possession when Herbie Kane won it, to then go on and score, especially that second goal as well. When you think about it, we did have the ball, and even in the 93rd minute, we're going forward and we're trying to get the win, and that just shows, again, from an Oxford perspective, that we're a side not to be taken lightly. Like I said, these players could have run it in the corner at 1-1. I mean, they probably would never have done that, and it'd take an interesting side to do that. I could probably name a few sides this season that probably would do that. But from an Oxford United perspective, we didn't do that. We went there and we tried to win the game in the last minute. It was maybe a risk. It's probably a risk at 1-1 to not just try and hold the game out. Even more. When the draw was level, we probably would have. When the game was level, and we probably would have gone there and said, I still probably would have taken a point from the game, but we didn't. We took that risk, and we reaped the benefits, to be honest. And I still at 1-1, even though I think, what do Sheffield Wednesday fans thinking right now? And that's what I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you thinking now? Do you think you deserve to get something from the game, or do you feel hard done by, or do you feel like it was a fair result? I mean, it's easy to come from an Oxford United fan. I think we deserve to get something from the game. We in the end got 3 points. But I would say, and I don't say it, I will be the first to say, and if you've watched the podcast for a while, I will be the first to say if I didn't deserve, or maybe got a little bit unlucky, or admit that they should feel hard done by, or maybe felt that we didn't deserve to get something in the game, basically. But I think today, genuinely, we were the better side, and I think that's just the way it is. I thought generally, if it was a neutral perspective, and if I was sat there as a neutral, which is difficult because I wasn't, who would I think was the better side? If someone had to win today, who do I think, based on performance, deserved to win the game? I probably would say Oxford United. Not to say Sheffield Wednesday were bad. Not to say Sheffield Wednesday weren't good. Not to say Sheffield Wednesday won't be up there at the end of the season. I'm not saying that at all. And that's also not to say that Sheffield Wednesday could come to Kassam in the second half of the season and beat us 3-1 and it's beat us fair and square. That's never to say that either. I'm just saying, from what I saw, and I was at the game and I was watching the game, I just do think Oxford United played the better football and deserved to get something from the game. There were spells. At 1-1, Sheffield Wednesday looked very, very dangerous. And maybe at that point, maybe when they hit the crossbar, then it was a really good save from Jack Stevens as well. But then their goalkeeper made a really, really good save in that first half when it was actually quite early on in the second half. A really good save from their goalkeeper. And that easily could have been a goal as well. That Sam Long header. Oxford United did have chances in the game as well, as much as Sheffield Wednesday had chances. Oxford had some big chances in the game as well. So, it really could have gone either way, and it finished off with Oxford winning the game 2-1, which of course I'm extremely happy with. But you know what I mean? Defensively and going forward, Oxford United looked very, very good. So if there had to be a winner, I think Oxford United were pretty. I think we're going to be pretty happy with that. I'm very happy with it as a fan. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can tell that. And I mentioned there as well, I've written this in my notes, and we did look dangerous on the break. As much as I said we looked dominant in the ball, when they had the ball as well, we won it quickly, and that came from, a key example was that first goal when Herbie Kane, we didn't have the ball, Herbie Kane won the ball fair and square, went on, put great pass through to Callum Brannagan, and then a great finish as well. There's a few penalty shouts in the game. I know Carlson was speaking about it afterwards. The one that I definitely saw was the one that maybe could have been given to Sheffield Wednesday. It looked like Steve said, and maybe was holding the player back. Again, I'm going to have to watch that back. It weirdly wasn't actually on the highlights. I've only watched the Sky Sports highlights. The EFL ones don't think have been released yet as of recording. So I've only seen the Sky Sports one that wasn't actually on the highlights. So I haven't seen that back yet. It did look a little bit like it was either a shirt pull or a two-hand push. And if you do anything like that in football, especially in the penalty area, you're certainly running on thin ice. However, the referee didn't give it, and there was arguments that Oxford United maybe could have a penalty in the first half. Again, I can't really remember that. I don't know whether or not I was maybe just wasn't concentrating, but I think I would have done. I probably definitely would have heard the shouts from from the Oxford fans. I didn't really see a clear and obvious foul for Oxford. 100%. If I was going to give one penalty, if I'm being honest, taking my Oxford bars away completely, I think that hand in the push could have been given, but maybe there could have been no contact with the opposite side of the ground. I can't exactly see, but ultimately, I think Oxford United deserved to win the game, and there were a few shouts either way, but ours didn't get given. If there was one, then theirs certainly didn't either. So that's just the way it is. I want to talk about standout performers as well. I thought a player that I've been very, very critical of, and I was I was full of praise actually on Tuesday against Accrington, was Herbie Kane. I thought he was phenomenal today. He came off with a bit of a knock, so hopefully that's nothing more than a knock. I thought it was absolutely fantastic today. I thought it was so good. Not just with that tackle to play Callum Brannagan through, but generally through the game he was playing. He looks very, very good. He has a touch of class, and you can see that now. He was a little bit a little bit rusty, hasn't played a lot of football, coming back to full fitness, and hopefully he's now can continue on full fitness, even though he was taken off today. He does have that touch of class. He does have that sort of extra bit in midfield where you go, that's a bit of wow factor. We've been speaking about a wow player and a bit of the X factor, if you like, a different type of player that can give something very, very different. And Oxford United now, I think, do have that in Herbie Kane. Players that weren't in that side today, Mark Sykes, it's nothing to do with, it's not their fault. No one can help getting ill, but they're going to have to work really hard to get back into this side now, because you've got players like Herbie Kane who are going to be thinking, if I play like that every week, I'm certainly going to be demanding a starting lineup spot. I think Herbie Kane at the moment is demanding a starting lineup spot. I thought against Gillingham he was good. I thought against Accrington he was class. I thought today, again, it was another classy performance from him. Looking forward to see more and more of him. I mentioned about Callum Brannagan's goal. He looked very, very good today. Even Alex Gorin, I thought, that scoring performance, you don't always see a lot of him, but I thought defensively, we know what he can do in that defensive midfield role. Looked very, very good. Won a few headers as well, actually, some important headers. The game, there's a lot of it was actually in the air. A lot of headers being won. Dunkley was the big centre-half, along with his centre-half partner. I don't know his name, unfortunately, off the top of my head, today for Sheffield Wednesday, but Shea Dunkley, a very, very tall guy, very, very strong physical player. He won a lot of things in the air as well, and it was a bit of that. And at the start of the game, we were trying those sort of balls, and they were sort of dealing with it. But when you kept it on the deck as well, the goal came from passing it very, very quickly, and really, with purpose. We spoke about against Accrington, playing with purpose, passing with purpose, creating chances with purpose as well. And Oxford United was certainly doing that, and that's very, very important from an Oxford perspective. Very, very happy with it. Finally, confidence going forward. I thought that now what is it going to do? There was players today that I think will come away from this. All the players I think pretty much will come away with this with their heads, and should come with their heads held high. Matchday Taylor again looking very, very good up front. Didn't get a goal today, but looked very, very good off the ball actually, trying to find some really good passes, unleashing the likes of Nathan Holland as well. You've got the players like Callum Brannagan we mentioned, Kane we mentioned, Gorin we've mentioned, Thornley and Moore looked very, very solid defensively as well. Sam Long looked good at right back. Ford came into a bit of a probably a weaker position for him personally after playing a lot at right back. He looked good as well. Henry came on and I'm sure was going to take a lot of the headlines, but and thoroughly deserved so. It was a fantastic, technically brilliant finish from him to win us the game. But everyone is going to come away with this a lot of confidence, and so should. Sunderland game's been postponed for international call-ups. We haven't got to go to another very, very difficult game straight after this one next weekend. We've now got a break, and then we've got Plymouth at home, so another chance to hopefully keep that momentum going. Now we're not in the playoffs yet. We're currently still in 8th, but only 2 points away from the playoffs. Actually, only 4 points away from top, I think. So I think it's 4 points from top of the table, because Sunderland got battered today against Portsmouth. So, it's going to be one of those now where Oxford United just got to keep winning their games. That's all you can do. Keep winning your games. 2 home games now. We've got Plymouth and then Shrewsbury on the Tuesday after that Saturday game against Plymouth. So some really, really big games coming up. This was a huge game, and it was a huge performance and a huge 3 points. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A great day out, a great performance, a really good breakdown as well. I thought we've really sort of pinpointed the areas we need to speak about today. Really, really solid performance. First away game of the season in which we've won, and I'm very, very happy about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Jack. This has been the Young Fan Podcast. Hope you've enjoyed. If you want to see more, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It's free and easy to do both. Until next time, though, I'll see you later, and see you next time.